Good morning. It is good to see everyone, and welcome to our Sunday morning class. If you will be turning in your Bibles to the book of Ecclesiastes, Ecclesiastes is where we're going to be. And while you are turning there, I'm going to ask Shane if he would open us in a prayer. Ecclesiastes chapter 1. We looked at some introductory material last week, just what the book of Ecclesiastes is all about and some of the things that we will be looking at. Am I too loud? So, some of you are saying yes, some of you are saying no. Yeah, take me down just a bit. Is that better? That's probably a little bit better, isn't it? Okay. Look, I have trouble hearing mostly out of my left ear, but if it's loud to me, then it's probably too loud. I appreciate it, Harold. That's good. So yeah, if anything's too loud for me, that means it is really loud. But sometimes you just like things loud. My voice is probably not one of them. So we'll definitely do something about that. So we looked at some introductory material, some things that we are going to learn about in the book of Ecclesiastes. And we looked at really just the first two verses last week, and we are going to look at verses 3 through 11 this morning. But I want to start off by asking a question. How many of you remember things, and I'm sort of using my frame of reference, all 35 years that I have. Don't worry, me actually mentioning my age has something to do with what we talk about, and it's not just for me to make you feel bad this morning, as it is in other times. How many of you remember things that happened, let me think, 30 years ago? How many, raise your hand, how many of you remember things that happened 30 years ago? All right, that's a pretty good number. How many of you remember things that happened 35 years ago? All right, 40, 50. See, now we're starting to, okay, now the hands are starting to come down. 60. Yeah, 65. 70. Man, this is fun. 75. All right, 80. Well, I was going to say, pretty much the only person who should have their hand up still is Miss Wileen here. And that's not a knock on Miss Wileen. Anybody who knows her knows that she is the most wonderful person on the face of this earth. And I have heard stories from her that just absolutely amaze me. Do you remember everything that happened? Chances are you've probably forgotten some very, very important things that happened in your life. things that you wish you could remember, and things that if you were to remember them would probably excite you as much as when they originally happened. And that happens a lot, doesn't it? Whenever we find maybe old photo albums that we look at a picture and they have memories rushing back to us. My sister, in fact, informed me, and she sent me a few pictures of her and I when we were little. In fact, I believe that I was probably 3 or 4 in the picture, and she was just a baby, and I was holding her in my lap. If you ask to see it, I will not show it to you, because my lazy eye was on point in those pictures. Actually, it was off point. That's the whole purpose of a lazy eye, isn't it? But we wish we could remember and have those memories, but as the years pass by, those memories fade. They become, as some people have described it, they become dimmer and dimmer and dimmer until we realize that I wish I could remember what happened at this point or on this day or in this year, but and it is a struggle, isn't it, to try and remember. We can wear ourselves out mentally trying to remember things that we want to remember. It's almost like I know that that happened, but I just can't recall it. I cannot pull it out from the depths of my memory. I've mentioned a line from this song before, but I want to read the lyrics of the entire song. And it's a song called Time by Pink Floyd. Anytime I have an opportunity to bring classic rock into a lesson, I'm going to do it. But I think that this especially is appropriate for what we're going to see in Ecclesiastes chapter 1 this morning. The song goes like this: ticking away the moments that make up a dull day, you fritter and waste the hours in an offhand way, kicking around on a piece of ground in your hometown, waiting for someone or something to show you the way. Tired of lying in the sunshine, staying home to watch the rain, you are young and life is long, and there is time to kill today. And then one day you find 10 years have got behind you. No one told you when to run. You missed the starting gun. So you run and you run to catch up with the sun, but it's sinking, racing around to come up behind you again. The sun is the same in a relative way, but you're older, shorter of breath, and one day closer to death. Every year is getting shorter, never seem to find the time. Plans that either come to naught or half a page of scribbled lines. Hanging on in quiet desperation is the English way. The time is gone, the song is over. Thought I'd have something more to say. Now, what sounds, and you hear the name Pink Floyd and you're familiar with them, and they've had some really big hits, but when you actually take the time to listen to the words of a song, you can actually see that there are a lot of people who are very, very profound in their songwriting. And when we actually take the time to listen to some words of songs, we can see that they are more or less very relatable to human experience and existence. And these words are something that we can all identify with. We look up one day and we ask ourselves the question, where did the time go? How many years has it been since we did that? And that's why I say that at least my age is somewhat relevant. Your age is very relevant. Because if we're not careful, we will look up one day and we will realize, as the song says, that 10 years have got behind. Nobody told me when to run, and we realize that maybe we've missed the starting gun. Maybe we feel that we should be farther ahead with some things than we actually are. When you're younger, you certainly feel that way.